we played lots of different tournaments up there.
Now, who is the man, the superintendent that started?
Darrell Carter.
Darrell
Carter.
Mm-hmm.
Darrell Carter. He's retired now.
And so that was the very first tournament in this area.
Yeah.
I see. Do you have any
And
idea?
you know, when he found out he was going to play at Standing Stone, he drove down here to see me and said if, he's an old man now, and he said if I was going to play in it, he's going over there and watch that tournament. I told him I wouldn't even play. But he already went on and watched him anyhow. You met George over there, didn't you? George Carter.
Yeah, sure it is. Is that brother?
I don't believe they're brothers.
What about that first tournament? Do you remember what year that was?
Might have been 47 or 8, somewhere around 40. Let's see, 46. I just couldn't tell you.
Sometime though, right after World War II.
Yeah, 2 years after that. Year or two after World War II. I know we played up there right from my wife. I mean, we played every day at Cut Starry. Every day. I was trying to get over a broken leg. Couldn't hardly get down, but I guess that helped me more than anything. I could get down, better not get up. Couldn't hardly get up.
And they had a tournament at Tompkinsville every year since the first one?
I guess they have. Been a few years since I played. I guess I played about 30. Probably 30 times.
When did other tournaments start?
I lost one.
Is that right?
Third. Hello.
Oh,
good. I play with Daddy.
Huh.
Yeah, play that more Daddy.
Okay, what other tournaments have been held up here besides the Monroe County Fair?
Down here, that's about all. See, they knocked me out up there one year. Some of them got together and ruled me out. Well, Darrell Carter and George don't know nothing about it. Till the second day, they was the Margaret, and I was there. They don't know why I wasn't playing. I told them they won't let me play because out of state. And Darrell Carter got right then to stop that Marvel game. He told them that I was supposed to play. Said he's the one that started this Marvel tournament. Said it wouldn't been going on so he started this Marvel tournament up there. And he said if he wants to play, he can still play to get him partner. I told him no. I said everybody done got the partner pick. I said I don't care. He said it won't happen no more. And then on they have it open to the world where nobody will get knocked out. Anyway, we made it to the stockyard up there. It happened up there. And they got talking about us playing Marvel. That's for the war. And they said, well, they'd like to see us play a game if we's good. Darrell Carter said he'd go out to the football field. They'd scrape off the place and come out there directly and play a game. We went out there and started playing. And before we got that one game out, there was 200 people there watching us. I don't remember who we were playing, but there's some good Marvel players up there. Tomville. And they want to know when we could come back. We told them we'd come back the next day. We come back the next day for about 15 years. That's how it got started. Go to different places. Even might have set it up where go out of states.
Yeah, we might do something like that.
Man told me, everybody said told me, it said I'd be a good one if I went tied then. I'd be a good to go around and show them how it's done.
Oh, yeah. No, we're, Russell, Collins, and some of those other boys are going to go to Nashville here to a little program and play marbles down there.
Well, of course, it's all right to pick a partner sometime, but I tell you, there's lots of players that won't even start to get in there and play if you pick your partner, if they know they ain't got a chance to start with. Yeah. Naturally, everybody wants a good partner. I did it myself when I was growing up. Just like me and Webb. He'd been better but Webb wouldn't do it. Webb wouldn't play against me. He sat on the side if I played with anybody else. He wouldn't play against me. If I started playing with me, he wouldn't play against me. Of course, it's the best to play to win, but I've lost games on purpose because I know that they enjoyed winning the same as I did. I used to play over at Pine Hill. And two old men there would go on them boards about letting me beat them. No better than I could play. They said, well, why don't you get in and play? These two brothers said, going to think he good. Said, why don't you get in and play him? Said, we're going to directly. Well, about 3 or 4 o'clock in the evening, I'd give them a wink. They'd come in and they'd beat me. And them boys would jump up, want to play them old men, you know. And they'd take their seat. And said, come on and play us. Said, well, no, we don't play scrubs. We just play champions. They meant they beat me, see. And every time I'd go, I'd let them do that. It done them old men a lot of good. And, of course, might everywhere I go, I would let them beat me a game, you know. That'd make them want me to come back, see. But the people, they told me what Pine Hill one time, I don't remember who told me, that they didn't want me to come back. Said I'd been playing 8 years one and hadn't beaten me a game, and they didn't want me to come back. I never did go back. But I think if you draw partners, just like they at the Marble Yard, there's plenty of them played at one play. Now, I'll tell you another way to do it. They used to do what's called the big Marble Yard down there. They'd line up the ones what they thought was the best players. Then they'd match them with the sorry players. They matched me with a boy who couldn't play a bit on purpose. The old men didn't play. Matched me with one they called Tar Baby Westland. He lived right there in a half a mile of me. He couldn't play a bit. I mean, I'd play my best. I was a good player then. I never could win with him. Well, I just picked him dead card. I'd play so hard I couldn't win with him. But I got a kick out of playing with him. He'd miss one in a foot and a half of him. Go back and maybe miss it, knock it off with his fist. I just pick me to death. I tell him he got pretty close. Maybe he'd get it the next time. He ain't never forgot that. Every time I see him, he laughs and talk about me playing my way.
Well, who would decide, say when you did this, you lined up the best players and matched them with the other ones. Who decided on who got matched with who?
Well,
the owner of the yard?
People know the players. They say if anybody knows the players, and the one that done that, see, they was out to Margaret all the time, and they know the players.
But there would be one person who would make the decision, or?
No, it'd be 3 or 4 of them, you know. It's all through fun anyhow.
It wasn't a real tournament thing?
No, it wasn't a tournament. They just picked that. And I'll tell you another thing. There's so many players that if you got beat, you better well go home. It'd be 3 or 4 hours before you got back in there to play. And what they got to doing is let 4 play and 4. That's the way they do in a tournament, you know. They let 4 play and them get out and 4 more play. They got to doing that like a tournament. And another thing, they got to let 8 play. 8'd play.
How'd they do that?
Well, it wasn't no trouble. So I played where they 4 play again 4. And they got where they let 8 play and everybody for himself. That's all right. Every man for himself. He'd get out and they'd be 7. None get out and be 6. Put it down at the fountain. That's all right. You don't use a term like that?
No, I've never heard of it.
I never did have a term. You play a term like that in that place you said.
That'd be fun. See if there's something to try.
There's lots of ways to play marbles. I played where they play. I know where they play 8. I might play where there's more than that. And Mandry said.
When did they first start doing
Hello.
that? Okay. When did that get started, Dumas? Where 8 would go in there and every man for himself.
Oh, I went over 17, 18-year-old. It's young.
Whose idea was it?
Well, the old men sitting around that didn't really play. And decided I'd give everybody a chance to play, you know.
So
I played everywhere in the world.
Was there one particular man that thought of that idea that you know of?
I don't really know. I'd give everybody a chance to play. I played where 8 is playing, all 8 of them would get out and 8 more get in and play. Shoot, it'd be 75 players that yard sometime.
Which yard was that?
That's what's called the Big Marble Yard down there below home.
Was that the most popular marble yard you ever saw?
Yeah, I guess it was. They come from everywhere. The best players were right there. They come from everywhere to try to beat them.
When did that marble yard close down?
When World War II come on, many players and people went, different places, public work then. Back then, you worked a little on the farm and played marbles the rest of the time. That's about it. Yeah, it broke up when World War II come on. It wasn't close to nobody's house. I guess, a quarter of a mile to the first house.
Just way out in the woods, huh?
It was right on the creek. Well, see, that's an old road. When there used to be a mill there. The market was close to that mill. Now, the highway went right from the road. The dirt road, wasn't no highway. Highway. They built a road up on the, going into Florence, they built up on the hill up there. Of course, you still played marbles down there after they built the highway.
This tournament in Kentucky, about how many teams was the most that ever entered it up in Monroe County?
It took 2 days to play it. About every time it took 2 days.
Was it single elimination?
Well, forward.
If you lost one game, were you out of it?
Yeah. If you lost, you was out.
Okay. What about was there ever a judge or a referee at any tournaments you've been in?
Yeah. Yeah, they have somebody sit there, but I tell you, somebody in the yard just like you do that. Somebody standing right over you every time you shoot, looking right down at you. It bothers some players. I don't like to do that. There's going to be somebody kind of see to it there to keep the seat on the side like everybody else. The way they had it over, don't you think that's pretty good?
Yeah.
I played with a marble be full of people. I played where there'd be 40, 50 people in the marble yard. Well, you can't play like that. And the crowd up to where nobody can see. Where the crowd, everybody around, everybody can see.
What's the roughest marble yard you've ever tried to play on?
Out on Babbage Ridge. I went to Babbage Ridge to play.
What was it like?
There were 3 or 4 went with me. The one who's going to play with me is a good player. And I told him. I said, now, Ben, we're here. I'm going to play one game, but I'm going to get beat. He said, why? I said, well, this yard's too rough. I said, run every marble we got. I said, I ain't going to play him a good marble. And I said, let's get beat. He said, well. I said, now we get beat, and we'll invite them down here to Slina, a good yard down there. And I said, when they come down there, I'm going to tater every one of them. Sure enough, I got beat, and I left. And they invited them down. They told me what day they'd be there. And Chigger Brown, he was an old-timey player and a good player. I told Chigger, I said, I'm going to tater every one of them. He said, well, you can't do that. I said, yeah, you listen at me. Play like I tell you to. I'll tater every one of them. And I tatered every one of them. And one of them walked up and shook hands with me when after tating. Said, well, never play a game as long as I live. Another game. Said, that's the first time I ever tatered in my life. I said, well, I wouldn't feel like that. I said, the reason you ain't never been tatered, you just ain't never played nobody who play marble. That's the reason. I said, I've been tatered. I said, I played somebody who could play. I said, it's been a long time, but I said, I've been tatered.
Where does that term come from, tatered?
I don't know. That's the old saying when I first started playing marble.
Some people call it tailor. Right.
Well, we got tatered.
You've heard both, though?
Well, it's when you make your round, they say, well, I made my tater.
Yeah.
But when you don't make it, well, I got tatered.
Uh-huh.
It's kind of different there.
I see.
Both different.
So one is like, you're saying tater like sweet potatoes or something,
Yeah,
and the other is a tailor like
I don't know why they started.
Huh.
It's like everything up, well, first, second, and third, and up rover, you know, when you life around, they call it up rover.
Okay, how do you say that when you go up? Would you go through the holes as you make them, what you call them?
Well, in a term of Tomville, a man would mark down around when we'd make up a hole, he'd mark it down.
Okay, so, but I mean, you've always had a scorekeeper up there, is what you're saying up at
Yeah, I guess he did. Of course, just like I had over there, it's best not have too many rules. Feller played all his life one certain way. It ain't right to make him try to shoot different, is it?
No.
Everybody don't shoot like I never did believe in ruling anybody out because it didn't shoot exactly right. I didn't like that.
Okay, but would you go through the way you call those holes as you go from the first hole you got to make to the out hole? The first one you say, I'm for first hole, right?
Yeah, first hole, in the first round, you know, when you back down.
Okay, and what's the next one that you're for after the first hole?
Well, if you make your first round, you're starting up second.
Oh, okay, but what about just that second hole? Do you say, I'm for the second hole, or I'm for...
Yeah, upper hole. Second hole would be the upper hole, see.
Okay, you'd say upper hole.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, and then you go back down there to the middle hole, and what do you call it then?
Well, the middle hole.
Would you say I'm for the middle hole, or I'm for rover one?
Down one. Some of them call it down one, you know, when they make up a hole, down on one, see.
Is it ever called rover one?
No, not that. You just call it rover when you get to next to the out hole. That's the only time you call it rover. Okay,
so you say down one and...
Now, old-timey players, way back there ago, they'd bound to give that all these names for... I didn't give it no other name.
Yeah. All right, and then you go down to that bottom hole. What do they call that after down one?
Well, when you make your...
Oh, that's first round.
One, that's first round.
Okay, I'm for first round, you say.
Yeah.
Okay, then you start back up. What do you call the middle hole then?
First hole up second.
Or first one up twos?
Yeah, up twos. Yeah, a lot of them call it up twos, place up second.
All right, and then what do they call the top when you get up there?
That's, maybe call it the upper hole. Call it the third hole. That's called the third hole, see.
Or top one up
even,
twos?
when you shoot out, because that first hole ain't counted at all.
Yeah.
But still, when they make the upper hole, they count that the third hole. Well, it hit the third hole, you know, where you shoot out. They wouldn't call it middle hole, the third hole.
Okay, so have you ever heard it called first one up twos when you get to that top one?
Yeah. When you first one up two would be the middle hole too.
First one up twos is the middle?
Sure.
Okay. Alright, and then after you've made that you've already made one round, you've gone up to the top hole, and you're for the middle hole again, coming back down to your second round. What do you call the middle hole?
When you're coming down on two?
Yeah.
Well, the middle hole,
Someone asks you, what are you for? What would you say?
when you're down on two?
Would you say down on two?
Yeah, middle hole for two.
Huh. Okay. And then when you make this other one, you've got 2 rounds. Okay,
Yeah.
and then you start back up and you're at the middle hole again. What do you say you're for then?
Up rover, starting up rover.
Starting up rover, okay.
Yeah.
And then you hit the top hole. What's that called?
Well, top hole on rover. A lot of them cards that.
Is there any other word for it?
Well, someone thought a third round, top hole on third. They can call it that.
Okay.
People call them different names.
All right, and then you go to that middle one again, and that's rover.
Yeah.
And then you're for outs or out hole. How do you say that?
Well, from out. That's out hole.
Okay. Okay. Have you ever seen people argue about rules?
Well,
how do they settle a question about the rules when some people played it one way and some played it
some of them just back used to. I never was much for arguing a game. I'd get up and quit. I know when I was in school, my brother and another boy was arguing. Teacher come out there and said, "I'm going to make you boys quit if you don't quit arguing." Well, I just picked up marbles. I had 2 or 3 marbles in the game. I just picked up marbles and quit. I said, "I'm ready to quit anyhow." He jumped right in my face. Teacher did. Said, "No, you ain't quitting." Said, "Get down there and get the plan." Well, that made me mad, and I was stubborn as I could be. I said, "I've done quit." And he said, "Well, come in the house." I went in the house. He come off with his belt. He said, "Bend over that bench." I said, "No, I ain't bend over that bench." I said, "You might put me over it," but I said, "I ain't bend over it." I wouldn't bend over it. He said, "Well, you can get me." He expelled me. He said, "Get your book and go home." I went home. Next morning, of course, everybody knowed it had happened. There's 7 of us in school. That's brother and sister. Of course, but they hadn't found out it had happened. Next morning, he took me back, all the rest of them. And that teacher told him the reason he expelled me, I cursed him. I said, "I didn't curse you." He said, "I can prove everyone in school did." I said, "You can't prove one in school I cursed you." He took them all outside the schoolhouse, lined them up, and brought them back through the door, and asked every one of them, and I cussed him, and every one of them told him I didn't. And he said, "Well, I'll have to let him come back to school." And I went back to school to him. And he come stay all night. We didn't fall out over it. He stay all night a long lot of it. We thought I can't. We was going to Moss one day walking to play marbles. And I said to him, I said, "Why'd you lie on me that time?" He said, well, you had me in a position where I had to. My daddy, had him in a tight place. That's what he meant. That had him in a position where he had to lie. But he already done it.
Okay. Is there usually at a tournament or at a marble game, do people ever make little bets on the game, or?
Well, I never did want them to. For a lot of people wouldn't go to a marble yard if you know they're going to gamble. Did you know that?
Mm-hmm.
I know. I never did want them to. I used to go to churches. They'd invite me to churches. Did Vernon, Kentucky. I went down there 3 or 4 times. At that church house. I'd play for church, and sometimes for church, or I'd go right in the church house, stay right with them. And after church, they'd go home and eat dinner. Sometimes, a few times, I'd go home and eat with them. Some of them. And after church, they'd come back and take all the books, all the benches out of the schoolhouse, just about all of them, put them around the marble yard. They'd all sit there and watch us play marble the rest of the evening. And if they gambled and bet on it, they wouldn't have done that, would they?
No.
Same way here at Tomville. People take their families to the marble yard.
I better let you do business with
Good marble players.
Uh-huh.
He's ready to fly. They used to have a yard down there. A fella took me down there one time, and I was real good, and they told this fella not to bring me back no more.
I heard they had a big marble yard right in the courthouse square down there. Right
Well, they had 2 in the courthouse, in the yard. One was up on the upper side at one time, it was small, then there's one down on the lower side.
Why did they finally close those down?
Well, I don't really know. Had them everywhere. Had one in the old town when men way up started playing. Had one in the old town we played in the old town, and we had one out there at the schoolhouse on the ball diamond. We played out there.
Okay. Well, back on the betting aspect of it, have there ever been any large bets made on marble games?
Well, I was 13. One time here at Tomville, there's 2 fellas had a bet. That's 4 I got there. 4 way up got there. And the fellas run 2 fellas out of Kentucky. I don't know where he's from. He was betting Henry Kidman. He's here at Tomville. $500 that they'd beat me in way up. Well, this fella said he wanted to see us play a level first before the bet was final. Well, Henry told him, all right. Well, I go up there and start playing. I don't know a thing more about this. And of course, I started playing my best. And that fella seen me playing and said, no, said the bet's off. Said, why, he can beat both of my boys. Me and Webb don't know a thing about it, but know anything about it. I stole the game, played sorry to got that 500, but glad I didn't. Well, they told me about it after I'd played, and they seen me play, and them fellas got in there and played me in Webb, and one of them made 1 hole, and one of them didn't make a hole. They couldn't play at all. Because a lot of times, people in their neighborhood where they played, there's always 2 that think they're real good and can't nobody beat them. I know I went to Will Shade, Kentucky up here to play. They had me come up there. And he didn't tell them my name. He told me, and they don't know what name was. And I was sitting on the side and hadn't played a game. And the fella sitting there with me said, there's 2 fellas playing. Said, I ain't no use nobody playing them 2 in there playing. Said, they can't nobody beat them. And I thought they were playing awful common. Well, I played. With no trouble to beat. They don't know what my name was. And I told them my name was Joe Walker. And I'd got used to them pretty good and playing, and they'd joke me a lot. There's a good bunch of people to play with. And they called me Joe all the time. And I'd played up out of the 3rd year. I'd go up everybody, and they still didn't know my name. Well, there's some boys here at Tomville. I played there that morning. Then I was going up there that evening. I told them where we was going, I guess, and they come up there, and they told them people my name. And they throw up to me up there, say, I wish that Dumas Walker would come up here and play you, think you so good. I said, yeah, I've heard of him, I like to play him. And when they found out who I was, they said, you've been holding out on us, ain't you? I said, yeah, that's right. And what they meant, I could play better than what I was really playing. I just playing good enough to beat them. I said, yeah, I've been holding out on you. I said, there ain't no two here and get around again me. They said, well, you're crazy. We're sure you're a bit different than that.